It's the EST Rink Report. Tom Gazzola with Everett Fitzhugh, voice of the Seattle Kraken. Welcome back to town, Everett. Yeah, we cranked up the heat for you. Minus 50 Celsius last week.
Yeah.
But you guys have been on an epic road trip. Give us the scoop on what this trip's been like, and I'm sure there's been moments where you're like, where the hell am I?
It's the last stop of a 6-game, 12-day trip, and I actually had that moment. I was on the plane sitting next to my color analyst, and I looked up, and I was like, where are we right now? We were in Pittsburgh. We had just lost in Pittsburgh, and I blacked out for a second.
I've had that.
Like, where the hell are we? No, it's been a long trip. It's been a very long trip, but I think the first 3 games were a pretty good continuation of where this team has been as of late. Then, like the rest of the league, the Kraken have gotten sick. They've gotten a little bit injured, so now you're playing shorthanded. You've lost the last 2 games, 3-0 in Pittsburgh, 5-2 at MSG 2 nights ago. So hoping to get back on track against an Oilers team who hasn't done much lately. Yeah, you guys have been down a bit, so hopefully we can capitalize on that.
A bit different
I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding.
No,
totally kidding.
People are like, I like this guy. He's the Kraken's guy. Bring him over here. Joey Decord, what a story he's become. Give us the scoop on him, because going into the season, I think you guys were here in the preseason, and someone mentioned, like, keep an eye on Joey Decord.
Yeah.
What a year he's putting together.
This is the first year of his pro career that he's made the NHL out of camp. He started with this team, and similarly to last year, Philip Grubauer gets injured, and Martin Jones had to come in, and he was the spark, in my opinion. He was the spark that helped Seattle get to that playoff run.
Right.
Well, now you've got Joey Decord, who recently is coming off of an 8-0-0 run. He's allowed 2 or fewer goals in 8 out of his last 11 starts and 11 out of his last 16 games overall.
Right.
So he is really been keeping Seattle in this playoff race. This team, unlike last year, isn't scoring a lot of goals, so they've had to rely a lot on defense and on their goaltending, and Joey Decord has been, again, in my opinion, a main factor as to why Seattle is where they are right now.
Okay, Decord, we talked about that. Where is the offense coming from? You mentioned Decord's holding the fort for them, and then you got to get goals to get these wins that this team's been piling up.
You know what? I think, as has been the case over the last 2 seasons, this is a team with 4 second lines. I mean, everybody can score. There was 2 games on this road trip. The Kraken scored 7 goals, 6 different goal scorers, 13 different players had points. They had a 4-goal game in which you had 4 different goal scorers and 10 players had points. So again, you're finding offense from all over the ice. You're able to get, you shut down the Matty Beniers line, that's okay. Ellie Tolvanen's line is going to step up. You shut down that line, that's fine. Jaden Schwartz, Alexander Wenberg can pick up the slack defensively. The Kraken have had at least 1 goal from the blue line in 6 of their last 8 games. So they've been getting scoring from all over the ice, and again, it's paying benefits for this team.
All right, the Oilers had an outdoor game, and it went well against the Calgary Flames, the Heritage Classic in late October, and then we had the Winter Classic at T-Mobile Park against the Vegas Golden Knights. I watched that game, and I was like, boy, that was a perfect day for Seattle. How would you describe that?
It was awesome. I mean, the 3-0 win over Vegas aside, it did so much for our region, for our community. Seattle, we're still growing as an NHL market, and I think we made so many fans that day because of the product that was put on the ice. And I think the NHL, T-Mobile, the Kraken, they did such a good job with the design of everything. I mean, I walked into that building, and I felt like I was inside of a fishing shack
That's cool. The fish that they were throwing as the team was walking
by the way, it's funny to watch Jamie Alexiak just kind of ducking over, make sure you didn't get hit by the fish. So it was great. And then, of course, you get the win. The day was perfect. We had a rainstorm the day before and a rainstorm the day after. So it was really good to see. And I think that was a huge, catalyst. I mean, that was the birth of Joey Decord with him and Biz and all the stuff that they did like that.
And Bowie.
And Bowie. We did an event the next week, and the mayor was there. And I was like, hey, Mayor Harrell, I'm so sorry, but Joey Decord, I mean, he's the mayor now. I don't know what to tell you. So, but that was an awesome game.
All right, Everett, this is the 3rd of 4 meetings this season between the Oilers and the Kraken, Pacific Division rivals. I feel like the Pacific Division teams are going to bully the Central Division teams out of the playoff picture. We're kind of seeing that, but we do have a game tonight between these 2 Pacific Division rivals. What are you expecting?
It's going to be a tough one, I think, for I mean, obviously, I don't have to tell you, this is an Oilers team that's won, 11 in a row now, and you've won, 21 of your last 24, no big deal. The Kraken, we're hurting a little bit. A couple of guys are out to injury. The last handful of games, you've had Andre Burakovsky, you've had Vince Dunn, and you've had Matty Beniers out of the lineup. Adam Larson was battling a sickness. There's a little bit of a bug going around the locker room all over the NHL. So we'll see here in about 10-15 minutes who's going to play tonight. It sounds like there may be a return to the lineup for someone for Seattle. Not quite sure who that's going to be yet, but I mean, this is going to have to be a darn near perfect game for Seattle, I think. I mean, the Oilers have had the Kraken's number this year. Seattle should have won in this building, and then Evander Kane wakes up, gets the hat trick a week before. Zach Hyman, a first period hat trick. So let's see if we can just keep the hat tricks to a minimum tonight. I think that would be. Someone's going to see this and fire me. No hat tricks. No, please. God, please, no hat tricks. But no, I think, as always, it's going to be a fun meeting. I love when these two teams play each other because I think you've got the star power of Edmonton. You've got the quick speed, the offensive capabilities of Edmonton, but you have a very structured defensive team in Seattle. And I think, is it defense wins championships, or is it a the best defense is a good offense? So I love when two teams that are polar opposites defensively and offensively get to go together. Although Edmonton's defense has been pretty good these last handful of games.
I have to say, this is probably the most entertaining Rink report that I've done, but we've had you on the pre- and post-game show, which has been fantastic. Great to have you back in town, and let's see what happens tonight.
Always a pleasure, Tommy. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
That is the Rink report with Everett Fitzhugh, radio play-by-play voice of the Seattle Kraken.